Hi everyone, thanks for joining today's event, METAVERSE Lab, the first international generative AI event. We will start soon, so please take a seat and wait a little bit more. 皆さん、本日メタバースラブ国際初 AI 生成イベントに参加していただきありがとうございました。まもなく始まりますので少々お待ちください。Hi everyone, thanks for joining today's event, METAVERSE Lab, the first international generative AI event. We will start soon, so please take a seat and wait a little bit more. 皆さん、本日メタバースラブ国際初 AI 生成イベントに参加していただきありがとうございました。まもなく始まりますので少々お待ちください。 Sorry, the mic,マイクはオフにしてたすいません。Sorry, the mic was off, so maybe I was looking and you didn't listen anything. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. I am really happy that you joined to this event, people who came to Cluster and also people who are watching this event from YouTube. 皆さん、クラスター、に参加していただいた人と YouTube から見てる人でも、参加していただき本当にありがとうございます。So first, I would like to introduce myself before start the event. So 最初は、私の簡単な自己紹介できればと思います。Yes, a reminder that this event is going to be in Japanese and English at the same time. 一応リマインドですけど、このイベントは、英語と日本語同時に、行います。So, my name is David Lozano. I'm the CEO of METAI, a company that provides services related to Metaverse. We create promotions and events inside Fortnite, Minecraft, Zepeto, or Roblox. And we are also providing services related with generative AI in Japan, not only creating content, but also teaching about new technologies to particulars, companies, and schools. I am also a manga agent, which means that I connect Japanese publishers with overseas publishers to publish manga, Japanese book, and so on, and also helping business to expand their business from Japan to overseas, and in the opposite, from overseas to Japan. はい、簡単な自己紹介できればと思います。私は、合同会社メトアイの、ロサノデビットと申します。本日よろしくお願いいたします。弊社の方が、メタバース、内で企業プロモーションやったりとか、イベントやったりとか、フォートナイト、マインクラフト、ゼペット、ロブロックスなど、いろいろやっております。それだけではなく、ジェネリティブ AI、AI 生成については、コンテンツ制作だけではなく、個人、企業、学校向けの、セミナーとかワークショップもやっております。さらに、国内外の、ビジネス展開とか海外 PR とか、またその漫画エージェントもやっておりまして、日本の、出版社と海外出版社つながったりとか、日本の漫画、本とか海外に出版のためいろいろサポートをしております。So, before I start the event, I would like to share you some things that I would like you take in mind while you are in the event. So yes, I remind that this event is we are doing on Cluster, but we are streaming on YouTube on real time. But if sometimes happen, maybe if you need to get out in the middle of the event, remind you that you can check it later on our YouTube channel. For people who is inside Cluster, remember that you can use the comments. You can also use the emoticons so you can express yourself about what you're feeling about what we talk about. And also people who are using YouTube, you can ask about everything you would like to me or maybe the speakers talk about in the event. So please don't refrain to write everything or ask about everything inside Cluster or on YouTube. Just a reminder that you can also take screenshots of the event and share on your social media using Metaverse Lab. And today we don't have so much people on the Cluster, so I think there's no problem about that. But so remember, all of us need personal space, so please don't stay too close to each other. And if you have a bad behavior, remember we are going to ban you. I suppose we don't need to say that, but yes, yes, I want to share about that. And the last one, but the most important thing, please enjoy the event. And as I said, please ask us anything you would like to know about. So, 皆さん、イベント始まる前に一応リマインドしたいいくつ点があります。このイベントはクラスターで行っておりますけど、同時に、YouTube に配信しております。で、もし何かで途中でイベントから外す必要だったら、その後は YouTube で、イベントできますので、ぜひご確認お願いします。あと、クラスターの中にいる方は、イベント途中で、これが面白いとか、これ最高だったとか、ぜひ、絵文字使ったりとか、あと、コメント欄もぜひ使ってください。YouTube にいるから見てる方も、ぜひ、コメント欄を使って何か聞きたいとかあったら、ぜひ、書いていただければ、私の担当者、SNS 担当者が、ピックアップしていただくから、 ご遠慮なく、聞きたいことあったらぜひ、このチャンス、見逃して書いてください。あとイベントの中でなんか撮影とかしたいだったらぜひ、スクショを撮って、SNS でメタバースラブのハッシュタグを使ってシェアお願いします。で、そうですね、クラスターにいる人たちは、本日はそんな多くではないけど、あまり、アバターとアバターの近くならないようにお願いします。あとなんとかな。本日は多分ないと思うんだけど、もしなんか他のユーザーになんか、邪魔とか、なんか迷惑かけるようだったら、バンするので、ご注意お願いします。あと最後だけど、一番大事のが、ぜひイベントを楽しんで、ください。よろしくお願いします。So first I would like to talk also about what's this event, what's Metaverse Lab. So we are, this is one of the services that Metaverse, that MetI is providing. So we have a group on Facebook that we talk about latest news about XR, AI, Metaverse. And we also offer event planning, production, operation, and PR services for Metaverse platforms like Cluster, VR Chat, or Horizon Workroom. Not only for companies, but also for individuals. And this is our team. So, はい。一応、私たち、メタバースラブのがサービスなんですけども、会社はメトアイでやってるんだけど、その中でメタバースラブっていう、そのナレギシェアのサービスがありまして、それどういうことをやってるか、Facebook グループの中で、XR とか AI、メタバースなど新規技術について、いろんなニュースをシェアしたりとか、で、あとはそのサービスも提供しておりまして、例えばその、メタバースの中でなんかイベントやりたいけどやり方わからないとかだったら、ぜひ弊社の方で、イベント、企画とか制作とか運用、PR までやっておりますので、ぜひ、ご検討お願いします。よろしくお願いします。あとso you can also follow us on Facebook. You can read this QR code from your computer, and you can access to our Facebook group, and you can check all the latest news about what's happening in Japan about Metaverse. And other new technologies. So, もし、このイベントが面白いと思ったら、ぜひ、この QR コードを読み込んでいただくと、私たちの Facebook グループに参加していただき、これからその新しい技術とかについては、こちらで確認できますので、ぜひフォローお願いします。So, sorry because I spend a lot of time talking about what we are, what I do. So I would like to start with the event.So please, I would like that you guys give a big applause to the most amazing people in generative AI industry right now. They are Wendy Barnett and Jason M. Allen-san. So please, a big applause. 皆さん、ぜひ、大きな拍手をお願いします。これから、ステージに、ジェネラティブ AI の一番、人気な人の、ウェンディ・バーネットと、ジェイソン M. Allen が参加します。はい、大きな拍手お願いします。Jason, Wendy, could you come to the stage? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Can you come close to me? Sorry. Thank you. Okay. So thank you so much for joining today's event. I'm really happy that we are together, finally. Could you mute? Sorry, I think, okay.
Yep.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
By the way, I think so early where you are, right? What time is now?
6 in the morning for me here. Yeah.
Right.
6 a.m.
It's 8 o'clock a.m. for me.
Jason のところ、sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was going to say I'm in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Eastern Standard Time, so 8 o'clock here, and then Jason is 2 hours behind me.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jason, because I suppose it might be a challenge for you to wake up this earlier. はい、一応
So excited to be a part of it.
Thank you so much. 一応イエさんのところなんですけど、今朝6時ですね。で、ウェンディさんのところは朝8時です。すごいこのイベントに参加したくてこんな早く来て、もう感謝するしかないですね。はい。Thank you so much. So I think is it the first time that you talk for Japanese audience?
Yes, for me, yes.
Mm-hmm. For you, Jason, I think you made some interview for Japanese media. Am I right?
I've done some Japanese interviews with news and a couple of presentations. So, but this is awesome. First time I've done a metaverse presentation.
Oh, yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much. 一応そうですね、お二人とも初めてメタバースの中でイベントをやっていて、で、イエスの方はもともと、その日本のメディアとかで結構主催されたりとかあったんだけど、ウェンディさんの方が、初めて日本人向けの、イベントに参加しているので、お二人ともすごい、ワクワクをしています。はい。So, by the way, the last question, did you know that generative AI was that famous in Japan? That popular in Japan, sorry.
I didn't know. I assumed that it would be because, Japan is usually leading the way in most things technology. So, I only assumed that more people would be interested in it in Japan than in the United States, or know more about it, be more knowledgeable of it.
I see. And what's about you, Jason?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of Japanese people who sent me friend requests on Facebook due to the generative AI and a lot of amazing things coming out of Japan. So it's fun to be part of it.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about that. そう、ウェンディさんの方が、もともと、日本で、もちろん、その、新規技術とか、前向きしてる国ではないかと思ったから、そういう印象があったけど、こんなすごい興味あるのが、知らなかったんで、ゲイさんの方が、もともと、いろんなことやってるから、いろんな方から、Facebook で申請したりとか、あったので、人気ではないかっていう、思ってますですね。So, since we have did a little bit of talk just for the introduction. So I would like to please give a big applause to Wendy Barnett. She's going to talk about generative AI and his view about this topic with all of us. So 皆さん、これからウェンディ・バーネットさんの方は、自分の、ジェネティブ AI についての、考えとか、これからどう思っているについてお話しするので、ぜひ大きな拍手お願いします。So, Wendy, this is your stage. Go ahead.
Thank you all so much for having me. Good evening, and thank you so much for being here. And thank you for everyone joining in this evening and watching here on Cluster or on YouTube. I really appreciate it. My name is Wendy Barnett. I am from Kentucky in the United States, and I work at a radio station. I'm the operations director and morning news host there. I'm also an AI enthusiast and an educator. I enjoy helping other people get introduced to artificial intelligence and how they can use it and get started and helping it, help them in what they want to create, whether it's creative projects or working with showing people how to make images in Midjourney. Some of the topics that I'll discuss today is that I was the first person in Kentucky who had an AI art exhibit. I'll talk a little bit about that, on why I started creating AI art, and then what some other Americans are doing and touching on a few important things there. So I had the first AI art exhibit in Kentucky, and I was really excited about this because it really wasn't being discussed in Kentucky at that time. And so it was a new thing, especially for our area. In Kentucky, where I live, there's a really strong art community. So I was able to bring this forward and show people what Midjourney can do. I was using version 4 of Midjourney, and I created some of these images. And these images are based off of what we would see in Kentucky, which is horses, farms, mountainous areas. And here are some of the pictures from the art exhibit from that night. My friend Barbie Reynolds took these photos, and she's watching in on YouTube right now. Hi, Barbie. So there were over 30 pieces on display. All of them were made in Midjourney version 4. I had them printed out on canvases. It was about 14 by 16 inches in size. And at that time, Midjourney couldn't easily upscale like to a bigger size without losing the quality. So I had these smaller images. So you can see how these are horses and farmland. Kentucky is a kind of very rural state where it's a lot of country. So we did the Kentucky theme for the art exhibit. And I did that. I chose Kentucky to represent the art exhibit because I wanted to introduce people to artificial intelligence, to generative AI, by showing them something that they were familiar with. And it was an easy way to introduce people that way of something you don't know with something you do know. So giving them something familiar to explain the process. So a little bit about Kentucky. We're known for horse racing, horse farms, and we have an annual event called the Kentucky Derby, where horses from all across the world compete. And Kentucky's also the only state where bourbon is allowed to be made. Bourbon's a dark drink. It's a dark liquor. It's kind of similar to whiskey. Also, too, in Kentucky, we have the Appalachian Mountain Range. It runs through the eastern part of the state. And then the way we're similar to Japan is that Japan is at 37 degrees north latitude on the globe. Kentucky is at 36 degrees north. So we sometimes have a lot of similar like vegetation, the greenery, the mountains, so we have some similar looks with how our landscape is. So here are some of the images that I created. I used a image to kind of transpose a tree onto a horse here. Here's a path of a trail for walking through a trail. And I used an idea for some of the trails that I have been on in Kentucky to make this image. And then here's a bourbon bottle with a horse inside of it. And I came up with this idea after looking through the Midjourney community and seeing ice sculptures. And I thought it would be really cool to create an ice sculpture of a bourbon bottle with a horse also in it. And it took about 50 different iterations before I settled on this one image, but I really like it a lot. At the art exhibit for opening night, I gave a presentation showing people and the attendees that are there how to create images. I showed them how to find inspiration, ways that I found inspiration, and also too how I showed them how I've used images that I've created. There were over 40 people who attended the opening night exhibit. I'm the blonde in the middle there. And a lot of people were very interested. It was really wonderful to see the community come together and ask their questions and be very interactive. And my favorite photo of the evening was this one where my mom was there and she was very proud of me. My son, you see him too. He's standing to the left. And I really love this photo. It was nice to make my mom proud. So why I started creating AI art? I wanted to find reference works for my own drawings. I wanted to create images of my own. I wanted to draw or paint original images. So when I found out about Midjourney and that you could create original images, I thought this is an excellent way to make my own art. I had created this image in Midjourney of this wizard, and then later I drew it. It's not perfect, but you do your best, right? It's always for fun. That's what art should be about. To me, my idea of art is just for fun because it's so enjoyable to see something that you can create come to life. And so that's the original idea why I wanted to work with Midjourney and create images that I could later draw or paint. But then I became addicted to creating images because there were so many possibilities of all the different things that Midjourney can do. So then I just started making images all the time and trying to figure out, well, what else can Midjourney do? So as you can see, here are some of the images that I've created: pencil drawings, paintings, character sheets. And of course, everybody has to make cats, right? Well, it's so cool to see cats in spacesuits because cat astronauts. It's so fun. And then, cyborg women are always cool. But then I started creating coloring books and children's books. Right now, I have more than over 30 coloring books on Amazon for sale that I've created since January. And I've really enjoyed doing this because it's just been a lot of fun having a process of starting from beginning to the end, making the images, compiling them together into a book that I use Adobe InDesign to create the book, making the cover, and then publishing them, and just seeing them there as something that I've created. Seeing a process from beginning to end is sometimes difficult for someone who is creative because we can easily get distracted, but having a process where you see it through to the end is just such an accomplishment. But I've also helped other people create their own children's books too. They have a story, so I'll create the images, compile it all together to make it a book, and then they're able to publish it and see their ideas come to fruition. So we're going to look at how other people in the USA are also using AI. But I want to say that few people still know about AI art. Few people still understand it. Few people, really kind of get the idea of it and what it's about. There have been a few AI art exhibits, but it's not been in the mainstream media news nationally. It's not making the waves that it should make because the art is so new and it's so innovative, and so many ideas and new ideas are coming forth from generative AI, but the mainstream news, like the national news, just really isn't catching on to it right now at the moment. Recently, there was the world's largest AI art exhibition in New York on May 30th, which had 100 artists from around the world. And then also in Boston, there's a student-run gallery that exhibits AI generative art at Boston University. It's currently on display, and it's really exciting to see younger people also getting involved in AI. They're not as afraid of it, and so it's really nice to see them taking classic pieces, reimagining them into new works. This is The Girl with the Pearl Earring. This is reimagined in generative AI. This girl, Emily Lynn, she took a picture here with her image that she created. It's on display in this exhibit. And she said something very interesting in this article. She said that she and other students have received backlash for their works. A lot of people are mad that others are able to use generative AI to create art exhibits. And Lynn says, AI is a tool and a medium. Before a pencil was invented, no pencils existed. And I really like that quote because it is a tool and a medium. If you have a creative idea and you want to see it through, sometimes generative AI is the only way to make that happen. So how can generative AI help us as a tool? Here's an article from the New York Times newspaper about 35 ways real people are using AI right now. And these are ways that people are incorporating generative AI into their work, into their life, and play. So the list includes, you can use ChatGPT to plan gardens, to plan your workouts, to plan your meals, to write emails, wedding speeches, and code, and even to help with mental health issues such as ADHD and dyslexia, to get homework help, learn a second language. There's so much more that ChatGPT can do that in any of the generative AI text chats that we just really haven't discovered all of the capabilities yet. I personally believe that we've only scratched the surface. So you just really need to think about, where do you need help in your life? Is it, with your work or with your art, with your creativity, with maybe managing your home life, however it may be, think about where you would need the most help and then ask. Ask ChatGPT. Maybe you are needing help with creating images in Midjourney or your text to image generator. You could also ask a chatbot how to get an image to be created. Like, what text should I use to create this image? I think the possibilities are really endless, which that was Midjourney's slogan at the beginning when it, or last year at some time. And I believe that with generative AI, the possibilities really are endless. So that's the end of my presentation. I just want to thank all of you for watching and listening, and I hope all of you have great success in your AI endeavors. Now, DeBito had said that, had shared my Twitter information, and you can also catch me there and send me a message and stay in touch with me. And thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your presentation. It was amazing. I think you were faster than I thought.
Yeah, I think I went a little faster. I apologize about that.
No way. But one of the things first. One of the things that I like about you is like you speak really slow. So for example, for people which English is not the first language, really help us so much to understand what you're talking about. So thank you so much about that. And
you're welcome. Thank you.
I also like your voice because it's like when I hear you, it's like, oh my, yeah, she's working on radio. You have a radio voice, Yeah, I love that.
Thank you, DeVito. Thank you.
So first, I would like to thank you so much for teaching us about Kentucky because I'm sure people who has joined the event, they have heard about Kentucky, but they didn't know about that place so much. So thank you for the introduction. And I was surprised about the latitude. Like we are really close.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know about that. So it was really
Yeah,
interesting.
I believe we have similar weather patterns and things like that. Just the various things. I'm pretty certain there's a place in northern Japan that is very similar to Lexington, Kentucky. It's kind of in the center of Kentucky. So I don't know the details about that, but that is something that I've heard from people. So.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I need to check about that later. I got interested about that.
Yeah, I do too. I'll check and I'll get back with you on this one.
一応そうですね。彼女素敵なプレゼンしていただきありがとうございますと伝えて、でそれでケンタッキーの方は皆さんがケンタッキーっていう名前聞いたことあるんですけど、ケンタッキーフィーチキンとかね、多分みんな聞いたことあるかもしれないけど、ね、彼女のおかげでもう少しケンタッキーどういうところなのかとか、あと日本のね共通するところとかも教えていただいてすごい良かったなと思っていて、はいってことですね。By the way, I love the way there is a part of the presentation that you talk about your family. I think that was a really special moment for you, right?
What did you say again?
Sorry. I think that was a really special moment for you, right?
Oh, definitely a special moment when, it's very important to make your family proud at what you do, and to have my mom and my son show up and be there and supportive. And, if this is a very new technique, a very new thing. And even though they don't 100% understand it, they support me in my endeavors, and they're just like, okay, well, you have this new thing, but we love you. And, and so and so it's just very nice to have that support and, to make them proud of me being successful, and doing something that I enjoy. And I think that that's something that, we could all share across, cultures, is that making our parents proud is so important.
Yeah, I can't imagine that moment for you. And but for sure it must be really special. Thank you so much for sharing that special moment with us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
一応伝えたのが、そのプレゼンの中で、そのイベントやった時に、なんか家族とか一緒にね、支援のためイベントに参加した、すごい、なんか、まあ、すごい、なんとかな、良かったんじゃないかなっていう伝えたら、まあそうですね、やっぱり彼らもあまりその AI 生成についてわかんないけど、まあ、家族はウェンディさんの、まあ、ちゃんとうまくいくためとかね、どんなことあっても家族をいるっていう伝えた方のためイベントに参加したっていうことで、まあ、いや、すごいなと思って、やっぱりなんかね、我々これからいろんなことやれてんだけど、やっぱり家族近くいるとね、なんかさらになんか元気とかなんかもっと努力したいんじゃないですか。だから、本当にそんな大事なタイミングを家族いると、まあ、いいなと思ったので、まあちょっと聞きたかったですね。So, okay. By the way, one of the person who joined the event said that they really appreciate that you add Japanese text into the slide, so they make easy to understand what you are talking about.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you so much for being here.
先ほど日本語付きしてくれてありがとうございますって言ったのことで、こちらこそやっぱりなんか日本人の方も参加する日本人向けのイベントもだったからやっぱり、日本語にした方が、まあ、みんな分かりやすいんじゃないかなっていう、お伝えしました。And I'm with you about that we need to think. We don't need to be scared about generative AI. We need to think about how can we implement it to our lives, and how we can use it.
We definitely do.
Yeah,
I believe that we need to look at it as a way of how can we make it do good, because there's so many opportunities here for good things to come from generative AI. And I believe that a lot of the fears come around from people don't understand it. And I'm not sure if any of us could 100% understand generative AI and how it works, but I believe that it's important for us to imagine and use our brain power to think about what we can do to make our lives better and to help other people. One of the most important things is creativity, in my opinion. And I believe that using our creativity to, make other people, have a better day. And how can we implement generative AI with that? Or how can we make people or help people get their ideas out there? So I think that looking at the opportunities that we have with this moment in time and getting on the forefront of that and getting ahead of it, I believe that this is the moment that we're at. And that's why it's so important to really understand it the best we can.
Totally, and I'm totally with you. I think it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's the moment we're looking for, right? It's like from now everything is going to be smoother. Everything's going to be smooth for us and our lives, I think.
I believe so too. I definitely think so.
一応そうですね。これからそのジェネラティブ AI 生成についてはその恐怖するじゃなくて、これからなんかそのテクノロジーはどの風に我々の人生とか我々の仕事で使えるかってやっぱりなんか考えるのが大事ではないかって言ったら、彼のウェンディ様は同感って、していただいて、でそうですね、なんかこれからその AI を使っていてどのように仕事を使えるとか、あと他の人どのようにそれを使ってサポートしてあげるかとかね、これからいろいろ考える必要ではないかって、教えていただきました。By the way, we have other comment from Aki-san. He said, it's wait a minute, I don't know how to translate that. It's sorry, it's an amazing let's say timing which is coming. So he's like looking for that.
Yes, agreed. And it's an interesting time that we're living in, and to be able to see this unfold and, to watch this happen. And, it's nice to have something good, because I do believe generative AI is good. It's interesting to watch something really good evolve. And we are kind of on the corner or on the, I guess, just a change of everything right now, and we're getting to witness that. You know, I think that's very interesting time to be able to see, you know, how things were before generative AI, and we're going to see things as they progress into generative AI. So it's an interesting time period for sure.
I agree with that. So, アキさん、とても面白い時代になったと思いますというコメントで、ウェンディさんも同感と、言ってくれました。I have other question from the same person, from Aki-san. So, do you think art concept is going to change from now?
Definitely. The concept of what art is and how it's going to look in the future, how it's going to look now and the next year even. I believe that it's going to make people think about what art is actually about. And I know that Jason will talk more about this. So this is a really great question. But Jason will definitely talk more about this and what is art? And I believe that with making art more accessible to everyone, there are a lot of people who, you know, maybe they don't have the resources or maybe they have disabilities. And generative AI is making art accessible to everyone. Maybe you don't have a fancy camera, but you're able to produce beautiful photographs and in a whole new way. And yes, definitely. Art is going to be is evolving and going to continue to evolve. I don't think that art will ever be the same.
Thank you so much for your answer. Sorry. But yeah, I'm with you. I even can imagine how it's going to change, because I think it's going to change in any direction, I think. So I'm just looking forward to see what happens and how companies and government and everyone, you know, deal with that.
Oh yeah.
So
it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a challenge for everyone. アキさん、
Oh, yeah.
アートの概念も大きく変わっていくのでしょうかっていうコメントについては、ウェンディさんはそれは間違いないです。これから後ほどイエスさん、別のスピーカーの方、細かくその件についてお話しするんだけど、アートがAI でどう変わるか、どの方でも使えるようになります。だから例えば病気ある人とか何かかで描けないとしても、これからそのジェネラティブ AI でできるようになりますので、本当に仕事とか個人でもどの場面でもジェネラティブ AI が後の概念が変わっていくのではないかと思ってます。はい。他の質問も来てるけど、すいません、次のスピーカーとかものプレゼンに行きたいので、最後のところで、質問コーナーとかもあるなので、ぜひ、その時に、残りの質問とか、記入、できればと思います。よろしくお願いします。はい。So, Wendy, thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for your amazing presentation and to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So, I will see you later when we talk together. So, I would like, please, to give a special applause to Jason M. Allen. 皆さん、ぜひ、ジェイソン M. Allen さんに、大きな拍手をお願いします。Thank you for coming. I'm sorry for the waiting. So, the stage is yours, so please, can you continue with the presentation? Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Let me just start my slides here. Okay, again, thank you very much. My presentation today is AI and Art, a New Landscape of Creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, fellow artists and enthusiasts, I stand before you today not only as an art creator, but also as an explorer of an exciting new frontier. As a pioneer in the realm of AI-generated art, I find myself at the crossroads of tradition and innovation, grappling with the complexities of creativity, technology, and the ever-evolving definition of art itself. My name is Jason M. Allen. I am also known as Sincarnate on Discord, Twitch, and Midjourney. I am the founder and CEO of Incarnate Games, where I serve as lead developer and art director, and more recently, the founder of Art Incarnate, where I create promptograms and luxury AI products. Last year, I was the first to ever win a fine art competition at the Colorado State Fair with an art piece called Théâtre d'Opéra Spatial, which we can see on the screen now, that I created using Midjourney. This turned out to be the opening of Pandora's box. As an individual, my journey with art and artificial intelligence has been fascinating, enlightening, and not without controversy. I've had the privilege to witness firsthand the unprecedented ways in which artificial intelligence can augment and stimulate human creativity. My work has involved countless hours of refining prompts, creatively testing, and iterating with the power of AI to bring unique visions into life. However, as with any novel approach, the integration of AI in the art world has sparked heated debates and criticisms. Accusations have been made, ranging from the dismissal of AI as illegitimate to asserting that its creation is equivalent to theft. This presentation is not just a defense against these allegations, but a journey into understanding the broader implications of AI on art, society, and life itself. Today, we will demystify the technology behind AI-generated art, investigate the historical relationship between art and technology, evaluate the arguments against AI in art, and imagine the tremendous potential of this intersection of creativity and artificial intelligence. Through this exploration, we will highlight the value of AI-generated art and demonstrate its transformative power to democratize creativity and empower individuals. Together, let's embark on this journey of discovery, controversy, and inspiration. My outline, we're going to talk about today generative AI art technology, how it works, art's purpose, bringing vision into form, the controversy, accusations from artists, art and technology, a historical perspective, artists, are they the problem? AI phobia versus AI utopia, two perspectives on AI and art. Briefly, we'll touch on copyright as well. And I have a special thing to share with everyone at the conclusion of my presentation. So let's get started. Art at its core is about the generation of ideas and the expression of those ideas through various media. With the advent of generative AI art technology, we now have another tool in our toolkit that expands our capacity for ideation and expression. But how does this technology work? How AI learns art. One could argue that in the vast and complex field of artificial intelligence, AI, the work of creating text-to-image technology is akin to the needle in the proverbial haystack. Of the 300,000 AI engineers worldwide, only around 10,000 have the unique skills needed to lead significant AI projects. Of these, only around 300 people have a masterful understanding of AI, and among them, perhaps a mere 50 people actively work on text-to-image synthesis. The very essence of this work is known only to a select few, but let's delve a little deeper into the inner workings of AI for the benefit of a wider audience. Machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, diffusion models, and text-to-image synthesis. These are all fundamental pieces of the puzzle that make up the awe-inspiring magic of AI technology. At the heart of all this is machine learning, where algorithms build models by learning from sample data, aptly named training data, to make predictions or decisions without any explicit programming. This learning is primarily accomplished using neural networks, computing systems modeled after biological networks in our own brains. The part of this vast network that's responsible for translating text descriptions into visual information is deep learning, which employs a method known as diffusion models. In essence, a diffusion model is a generative model. It's trained to generate data, images in this case, that bear resemblances to the training data it has learned from. However, it's critical to note that the images it creates are entirely new and original, not just mere reproductions of the training data. To achieve this, the AI initially learns about lines, shapes, colors, spacing, light and dark, and all other elements of visual information. It learns by being shown millions of images, each accompanied by a text description. The AI combines this visual data with the text information, creating an aggregated data set. This is where deep learning truly comes into play. The real magic happens when we introduce the process of diffusion. Essentially, diffusion models work by deconstructing the training data with the addition of Gaussian noise, then learning to reconstruct that data by reverse engineering this process. The result? A wholly new image, extracted from random noise through a process the AI has practiced millions of times. This profound mechanism ensures that the image output created is entirely new, original, and unique, regardless of the data set used to train the AI. The AI does not copy. It learns, associates, and creates in ways that humans could never conceive. In fact, each generation of the diffusion process makes it impossible for the AI to create the same image twice, as Gaussian noise is truly stochastic. The resulting artwork is not just a product of random numbers and machine computations. It's a testament to the power of artificial intelligence as a tool for human creativity. The goal of the development of AI technologies isn't to create copy machines. We've had those for over 80 years. We're creating learning machines. Contrary to the false notion that AI creates art independently, it's crucial to understand that the user's role is still pivotal. While the AI model generates the output, it is the user who defines the prompts, refines the outputs, and applies their creativity to guide the AI in the desired direction. It's a synergy between human creativity and AI capabilities, wherein the AI is a tool, an extension of the artist's creative process. To create a piece of AI art, the process usually begins with an input, or a prompt we call it, given by the user to the AI. This prompt can be as simple as a few words or as complex as a paragraph, depending on the user's vision. The AI then processes this prompt using its learned understanding from the datasets and generates a unique piece of art. This creation process involves a lot of trial, error, and iteration. It's not a simple matter of typing a random string of words and receiving a perfect piece of art. It requires careful refining of the prompts, interpreting the results, and steering the AI towards the envisioned outcome. It's important to note that every piece of AI-generated art is unique. It doesn't recreate or plagiarize existing works. Instead, it interprets the given prompt in its own way, drawing from the broad understanding it has developed from the dataset. In this sense, AI art shares more with abstract and conceptual art forms, where interpretation and perspective play a significant role in the final outcome. I want to talk now about the purpose of art. Art has served many purposes throughout history: communication, expression, reflection of society, personal fulfillment, and more. At its core, however, art is about bringing vision into form. It's about taking an idea, a concept, a feeling, or an insight, what you see in your mind's eye, and shaping it into something tangible and perceptible, something that can be shared, observed, and experienced by others. In his book, The Mission of Art, Alex Gray sheds light on this very aspect of art. Gray emphasizes art as a spiritual, transformative activity, a bridge between the physical and the metaphysical, the known and the unknown, the self and the cosmos. It's about transcending our individual experiences and connecting with something greater, something universal. The tools and the mediums that are used are irrelevant to the mission and the purpose of art. Ultimately, art is about people and sharing people's ideas with other people. When we look at generative AI in this light, we see it's not a threat to art, but as another medium to carry our visions forward. Just as a painter uses their brush to capture their imagination on a canvas, we can use AI to manifest our ideas into reality as well. Like I said, I believe art is simply bringing vision into form. Think of the AI not as a separate entity, but as an extension of our creative self. The AI is akin to a paintbrush, a pencil, or a camera. It's a tool that allows us to shape our visions. We provide the creative input, the idea, the vision, and the AI assists us to bring that vision into form. Some critics argue that AI art lacks depth, nuance, and emotional resonance of quote-unquote human-made art. Yet, who's to say that the AI, guided by human input, isn't human-made, or that it can't capture the complexities of the human condition? AI art, much like abstract or conceptual art, is open to interpretation, allowing viewers to derive their own meanings and emotions from it. It doesn't detract from the depth of art. It adds another layer to it. In this next section, we'll explore deeper into the controversy around AI-generated art, of which I've seen a lot, and we'll address the arguments and the accusations being made by those who believe AI should not be involved in the creative process. The controversy. One of the fascinating developments recently has been the controversy surrounding AI art. Some artists and critics have challenged its legitimacy, made accusations, and leveled a lot of criticisms against it. Let's delve into these claims and provide a well-rounded response. First accusation that they make is this isn't art. Some critics argue that AI-generated art isn't real art because it doesn't originate solely from human effort. They claim that because a machine is involved in the process, the output can't be considered art. Next accusation is you're not an artist. Similarly, some critics argue that the users of generative AI aren't truly artists. They believe that using AI in the art-making process disqualifies the creator from the title of artist. Another accusation, this is cheating. There's an argument that using AI is cheating because it can produce complex artwork quickly. Critics believe this diminishes the effort and skill traditionally associated with creating art. Yet another accusation is that AI art is deceptive. Critics argue that it's not clear to viewers that a machine, not a human, is behind the work, leading to a misunderstanding of the creative process involved. AI art is theft, they say. Critics have also called AI art theft, believing that AI learns from existing artworks without obtaining permission from the original artists or providing compensation. Next is they're wanting to say AI art is illegal, and they believe that AI art should be or already is illegal. They argue that copyright laws protect original works of art, and AI-generated art could infringe on those protections. Some say AI art lacks depth, and these critics believe that it doesn't contain the depth, nuance, and human touch found in traditional art. They argue that the absence of human emotion in the creation process makes the final product devoid of any meaningful interpretation. Then finally, we have this accusation that AI art is unethical, fraudulent, and plagiaristic. Critics argue that using AI to create art is misleading and dishonest, as it appropriates styles and techniques from existing works without original human input. So these are all substantial accusations, and trust me, I've been through all of them. In this next section, we'll respond to these points, shedding light on the misconceptions and addressing the fears surrounding AI art. So, what is art? They say this isn't art. Well, art is a subjective field. The definition of what constitutes art has continually evolved throughout history. Many things once not considered art, like photography and abstract expressionism, these are now universally accepted as art. The use of AI in the creation process is just another step in the evolution of art. Who is an artist? They say you're not an artist, as we've seen. AI doesn't create art in a vacuum, though. It requires human input and direction. This is why it's called multimodal. You can't separate the human user from the interaction with the AI to create art. There is no one that I've seen that's been able to demonstrate how this art is being created out of the lack of human authorship. The person using AI to create art is still exercising their creativity, imagination, and artistic sensibilities, making them just as much an artist as anyone else. Is AI cheating? No. AI isn't cheating. It's merely another tool in the artist's toolbox like a brush or a chisel. It doesn't replace the need for creativity and imagination, which is inherently and uniquely human. It merely offers a new way to bring those qualities to life. Response to AI art as deception. Artists utilizing AI technology can choose to make it clear that their work is AI assisted, embracing this new form of creative expression openly or not. Some artists may choose not to disclose that they're using their use of AI, and that decision should also be respected. This choice does not equate to deception. It just emphasizes the freedom of artistic expression. The belief that AI art is inherently deceptive often stems from those who may not fully recognize AI-generated art as legitimate as a form of artistic expression. However, as the art world evolves and embraces new technologies, it's essential to celebrate the diversity of creative approaches and respect the autonomy of artists in determining how they wish to present their work. My response to AI art as theft, the claim that AI steals from other artists, it's not accurate. While AI learns from vast data sets, it does not reproduce existing works, but creates entirely new pieces, much as human artists are inspired by the world around them. It's not illegal to look at copyrighted art, whether it's by a human or an AI. This inherently relates to the nature of fair use, where it appears we are already seeing decisions made recently, decisions being made about this with this in mind for current court cases regarding AI art. Response to the legal issues of whether this is illegal. The legal landscape surrounding AI art is still evolving. Most experts agree that AI-generated art does not infringe on existing copyright laws because it creates entirely new pieces. However, this is an area that will undoubtedly continue to develop. My response to AI art lacking depth, again, artistic depth and nuance, this is subjective. Some people find profound meaning in abstract shapes and colors, and while others might prefer detailed realism. AI art is capable of a wide range of styles and themes, catering to many artistic tastes. Then finally, we have the response to AI art being unethical, fraudulent, or plagiaristic. It's none of those things. Using AI to make art is not misleading. It's a transparent process where the new type of tool is being used. It does not plagiarize, but creates original works inspired by a wide array of inputs, similar to how human artists work. Now that we've addressed these accusations, let's move on to see how this technology parallels historical developments in the world of art. Art and technology have always shared a close relationship. New technologies have repeatedly spurred innovation in the art world, sometimes to great controversy. A classic example of this is the Luddites and lace. Let's first visit the 19th century with the advent of the textile machine. Lace makers were threatened by this innovation, fearing it would make their skills obsolete. It was a classic example of people being afraid of change. However, instead of killing the craft, it made lace more accessible and more popular, and the artists adapted, learning new skills and methods along the way. The next example is the introduction of photography in the 19th century, and it was met with similar outrage. Critics claimed it would spell the end of portraiture and landscape painting, but in fact, it added a new dimension to the artistic world and pushed painters to explore new themes and styles. It expanded the realm of art rather than narrowing it. Fast forward to more recent times, and we see the rise of digital art. Tools like Adobe Photoshop were initially dismissed as not being real art. Today, digital art is fully accepted as a medium, and it has widened the scope of what's possible in the creative world. Similarly, 3D printing technology faced backlash in the world of sculpture. It was seen as an easy way out. Yet, it is now accepted and utilized for its unique capabilities, not as a replacement for traditional sculpting, but as a different, valid, new form of expression. So there are countless examples of artists who have faced criticism for pushing the boundaries of what was accepted as art in their time. Vincent van Gogh, his unique style was scorned during his lifetime. Pablo Picasso's revolutionary cubist work was met with derision. His work was called satanic by the philosopher Carl Jung. Another artist example is Marcel Duchamp's his work Fountain was rejected as art. Actually, some of his art was thrown in the trash by a museum. Another example is Bakshinsky, the photographer and artist. His photo manipulations were not considered real photography. All these artists were pioneers who challenged the status quo, just as AI art is doing today. The controversy surrounding AI and art, it's not new. It follows a long tradition of innovation and resistance. Over time, just as with all these previous innovations, understanding will grow and perceptions will shift. Let's discuss the true controversy and the actual issues we should be focusing on. This is, I think, important for us to discuss. It's not the most popular thing to discuss, but I think it's important. Let's address the elephant in the room. Could it be that artists themselves are contributing to the controversy surrounding AI art? Firstly, we have instances where some artists are making accusations based on misunderstanding or ignorance about how AI works. They're lying. They're labeling it as theft or fraud. Their willful ignorance is quite extraordinary. Sour grapes. There's this question of consent. This is the next part. Well, they're always saying, oh, the AI learned without getting consent or giving any compensation. Many artists consent to the use of their work and the development of the AI research through the term was given through the terms of service of various online platforms. So this isn't something that they are happy about. So that has led to them expressing outrage and blaming others for their own oversight. But I want to point out that this whole issue of consent is somewhat of a red herring. It's not the point. That's not the argument. It's perfectly legal and accepted to learn from looking at art. You don't need consent to look at somebody's art. And if they don't want you to look at their art, they should not share their art. And as I said earlier, it's not illegal to look at art, whether you're a human or AI doing the observing and the learning. So let's move into another aspect that I've recently realized. This is a form of ableism. there's an element of ableism in this controversy as well. Some artists don't wish to compete against those who they perceive to be unqualified, thereby excluding people who now have newfound access to art creation. And I think that's unethical. This also feeds into prejudice and discrimination, with AI artists being treated as lesser or other than, and I know all about that. Moreover, gatekeeping in the arts stifles innovation and creativity. Attempting to define and limit what real art is amounts to a selfish protection of one's own domain. I thought that art was limitless. Why is it that they are so against the democratization of art? This protection of the status quo often stems from elitism, with chosen few deciding what is and is not accepted in the art world. And yes, there's a lot of vulnerable narcissists out there, jealous, attention-seeking artists who sometimes act out of this form of narcissism, where they're perceiving threats where none exist. And this may lead to manipulation, with these individuals trying to exert their influence and control over others by discouraging them from using the technology. And I think this is the thing that I dislike the most, is that people who are trying to make you feel guilty about using AI to create your art, that to me, it's untenable. That's unethical. No one can tell you how to make your art. Then there are those who are in denial of reality, of AI art, refusing to face the truth and to maintain their worldview, that willful ignorance I was talking about, waging these petulant arguments. Some criticisms border on being anti-people. So I noticed this right away when I won the state fair competition, where they disregard the human element behind AI art creation and the creativity and imagination involved in the process. They just throw the human right under the bus. And I think that that's sad. It's disrespectful, really. And it's insulting. It's an insult to our imagination for them to say that you didn't make that. Lastly, a fundamental fear of change can lead to irrational judgments and perceptions about the value and legitimacy of AI art. Art is a broad and inclusive domain. No one has the right to tell you how to create your art. You don't need a special title or validation to express your creativity. You don't need to be an artist to create art now. AI is just another tool that helps us in this journey of expression, and it's high time that we embrace it. Oh, I'm sorry. I realized I wasn't going through the slides while I was really into it, you guys. So I was just kind of forgetting that I had these other slides, but I'll show those real quick. So now that we've addressed the controversy, it's time to explore the two primary narratives about AI's role in art: AI phobia and AI utopia. AI phobia is a term that I use to encapsulate the fears, anxieties, and negative attitudes towards AI art. It's characterized by these doomsday hypotheticals, baseless ethics accusations, and a general belief that AI in art is bad, just AI bad. Put my fingers in my ears and la la la, it's just bad. I don't want to hear about it. These types of these types of concepts. It's essential to understand that being anti-AI ultimately equates to being anti-people, as it discredits the human users who exercise their creativity and imagination through these tools. This fear often arises from, as we've been discussing, the misunderstanding about how the technology works and their unwillingness to embrace change. This narrow viewpoint ignores the human element and in AI art and the value that this technology can bring to individuals and communities worldwide. More recent argument I'm hearing and a fear is this skill versus art, where they're saying while AI can learn and emulate skills, this creative process involves more than skill, though. It encompasses unique human experiences, emotions, and perspectives which AI cannot fully replicate. Artists contribute more than just their technical skills. It's their perspective, their ideas, the human touch, and that's irreplaceable. Thus, AI does not devalue artists, but it empowers them with new tools and possibilities. I feel like we should change our focus to be more positive and have a more inclusive narrative, which is why I'm going to also talk about AI utopia, which is my belief that the potential benefits and transformative power of AI art can lead to a sort of utopia where we are seeing AI as a tool that can empower individuals, democratize art, and introduce new dimensions of creativity. I'm not saying that we are going to have this utopia. It's just I want to see the positive, good things that come out of it. For example, therapeutic value of AI art. AI art can serve as a therapeutic tool, providing an expressive outlet for individuals and offering new ways to cope with life challenges. Another is beauty. AI can create works of beauty that delight, inspire, and provoke thought, contributing to our shared culture and humanity. And as we all know, a lot of people really like AI art. AI tools can also empower individuals who may not have had access to art making before, whether it's through a disability or a lack of skill, breaking down barriers and democratizing the creative process. Through AI, we can experience an abundance of art with diverse expressions and styles that reflect the complexity and richness of the human experience. But ultimately, and I like saying this is the most powerful form of human freedom of expression that's ever been created, in my opinion, and which enriches our ability to communicate, empathize, and understand each other better. As we weigh these perspectives, it becomes clear that AI has a significant role to play in the future of art. The choice between AI phobia or AI utopia is ours to make. Let's embrace the future with an open mind, acknowledging both the challenges and opportunities that come with it. Finally, let's move on to the copyright issue, which is the last part of my presentation. I'm just going to cover it briefly. I'm currently in the middle of a copyright case. So copyright law generally protects original creative works. But how does this apply when AI, an entity without legal rights or an original mind, generates art? Who owns AI art? The fundamental question at the heart of this controversy is, who owns AI-generated art? Is it the AI model's developer? Is it the AI model's trainer? Is it the person who input the prompt? Is it no one? One key argument is the role of AI. Is it merely a tool used by a human artist, or can it be considered an author or a creator? Most legal experts lean towards the former, that it's a tool, maintaining that copyright belongs to the human operator. Another concern is whether AI art can be considered derivative of the works it was trained on. This brings into play issues of consent and fair use. The intersection of AI and copyright law is complex and evolving. The current legal framework was not built with AI in mind, just as it wasn't built with photography in mind in its time, and as such, many gray areas exist. As we advance, we must find a balance between protecting original artists and encouraging innovation and creativity in AI art. So I submitted Théâtre d'Opéra Spatiale into as an attempt to register it with the Copyright Office, and they rejected my registration. And we put in our first request for consideration at the beginning of this year. and there's going to be news about that coming out very soon, next week or the week after, actually. Major developments are happening, and we are learning very quickly what the United States Copyright Office believes about what AI art is and its role that it has to play. And let me tell you, it is rife with contradictions and mental gymnastics. There's going to be a lot more to announce as that unfolds. Keep your eyes open by going to artincarnate.com and following me on various social media to learn more about that. So while the debate continues, it's essential to remember that legal issues should not deter us from exploring the vast potential of AI in art. Instead, they should prompt us to consider how we can adapt our laws to accommodate this new form of creativity. We should strive for legislation that acknowledges the unique characteristics of AI-generated content while protecting artists and promoting creativity. Although, if they would just apply the law as it exists already instead of contradicting themselves, maybe we wouldn't be having these problems. But that's just my personal opinion. So what's next? I have something special that I want to share with you guys. I'm working with a very large, well-known household name brand to create the first of its kind using a technology that's pretty uncommon, not very well known. It's all very new. And let me see, I just gotta switch screens here. Give me 1 second.
Jason, are you going to
Yeah,
show the video?
I am going to show the video.
Okay, I'm going
Do
to
you
explain in
want me to?
Japanese, okay? I'm going to explain in Japanese before, so they will
Okay.
know what are you showing. Sorry. はい、皆さん、今から、ジェイソンは今働いているプロジェクトについて、動画出しますので、この動画は海外でも出したことないから、ここで初めてですね、世界中で初めて、彼、今後のプロジェクト、AI と一緒にどういうこと、作るか、流す、予定です。はい、よろしくお願いします。Okay, sorry, go ahead.
One second. Okay. So this is a, well, it's a showcase, sneak preview to what I've been up to and what you can expect to see coming from Art Incarnate very soon. Thank you. So that concludes my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that it brought to light many of the issues that we're all undoubtedly facing. I think I covered them all. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to ask me.
Thank you so much for the explanation. So I think I said at the beginning of the event, but so thank you so much for your time. And I know you are busy, and I really appreciate
Yes,
your
sir.
effort to. I really appreciate your effort to join the event and to put all the information in that amazing presentation. And yeah, I think you touched the most controversial topics.
I did. I covered them all. I honestly
But
think that there's
it's necessary. Yeah.
every single controversy that has been brought up and discussed, I have touched on. So, because I've heard all of these arguments.
Yeah. And I don't know if you did it at purpose or not, but I like the way you put the information. I mean, the order of the information, because it
Absolutely.
looks
Thank
like
you.
you are writing story. I don't know if you feel like that when you are compiling the information.
Yeah, it's story is key. I think concept is king, but story is key. So if you're able to present things in a way that people can follow in an order that logically unfolds in your mind, that's really important.
For sure. はい、皆さん一応話したのが、まあそうですね、彼が大変忙しい方で、このイベントに参加していただき本当に良かった。まあ、感謝いたしますとか、特にね、彼のところで今、多分朝7時半ぐらいかな。だから結構朝6時起きてこのイベントに参加して本当に、まあ大変ではなかったかと思います。あとすごいね、みんな知りたいトピックとか結構、まあ全部触ったんじゃないかなと思っていて、でもやっぱりこれからね、これからその著作権とか、なんか本当に、AI これからどのように、我々の人生に、入るなのかとか、あと、本当に、AI 生成がそんな悪いなのかとか、あと本当に、アーティストの、映画、盗まれてるのかとか、ね、必ずお話必要トピックとかから全部お話しして本当に感謝するしか、ないです。あとすごい、皆さんが気づいたかわかんないけど、なんか結構、ストーリー、彼のプレゼンのフローを見ると、ストーリーみたいな感じ、お話ししてたんじゃないですか。で、それに聞いたら、まあ、その通りやりました。やっぱり、プレゼンするときに、ストーリーを伝わると、やっぱりみんなの注目を得るから、まあ、そのように考えて、プレゼンやりましたってことですね。素晴らしいです。はい。By the way, I like one of the things you said. Generative AI art is a new medium to manifest our vision, not a threat to art. I love that part.
I agree. It's just a new art form. And if I'm being frank, I think AI art is better than art. And I think if they want, we can just put AI art in a whole different level where we don't even have to associate with traditional art anymore.
Yeah, sure.
If that's what they want. I mean, I'm just saying, I think AI art is better than art. It's something new. It's like we don't have a word for it. And everyone's trying to come up with their own terms. Like I call them promptograms. I used to call them completions. Some people want to call it synthography. Whatever it is, it's amazing, and I love it.
Totally. I'm with you. So, ジェイソンのプレゼンの中で私気に入った、なんとかな、フレーズがありまして、AI 生成は、我々のビジョンを、伝わるための、新しいツールです。アートをダメージするための、ツールではないっていうお話で、私すごいなんとかな。まあ、お気に入ったんですね。はい。で、その話したら彼はそうですね。なんか、ジェイソン的な感じは、これからAI が、なんか、アートのコンセプトを超えるってですね。今まで、みんな持ってたアートのコンセプトは超えるから、これから、まあ、すごい大変楽しみにしてるですね。はい。And sorry, there is a lot of things that I pointed. There was other thing that you said, because a computer is involved in the process, it doesn't mean this is not art. Yeah, and I like the way you talk after that about digital art, because I think in the future, generative AI is going to get included in digital art.
I agree. It already is. It's already happening. And I think that it's unwise to not recognize AI art as an accepted medium and art form because it will become indistinguishable from us being able to recognize if it was created using artificial intelligence or not. I don't think that's a problem. That sounds great. Who cares? But if you aren't going to accept it as a medium, like the United States Copyright Office, it just turns everybody into a suspect. Did you use AI? Did he use AI? Did she use AI? Who cares?
Yeah.
Yes, you should use AI. It's just another tool. So, I mean, this is unnecessary. We're creating a social stigma where it doesn't have to exist, and it's just causing friction, controversy, consternation. It's just making people fight each other for no reason.
Sure. Totally agree with you. I hope, I don't know. Maybe this presentation will help a lot of people to think about this too. Thank you so much. それで、私の方からそのプレゼンの中でまた別のところを気に入っていて、アートを制作しているときに、パソコン、コンピューターを使っているだったら、アートではないの意味ではないっていう、ことをお話ししていて、で、私、同意してます。だって今だったらデジタルアートっていうあるんじゃないですか。みんな使ってて、全然問題ないと思うので、AI 生成も同じではないかと思います。だから今後は、今年になるか来年になるかわかんないけど、どっかのタイミングで必ずジェネリティブ AI 生成はデジタルアートの、コンセプトの中に入るではないかと、思ってます。はい。で彼はパソコン使ってるからアートではないとか別にいいんじゃないですか。だって、とりあえずすごい作品とか出してたら、それだけ一番大事じゃないかなとか、もしAI で作ったものだからダメとかって言ったら、どんどんみんな、アートを作るのが怖くなるんじゃないですか。なぜなら、どんなことを作ってもみんなが、これが AI 使ったことなんじゃないですかとかで、それでどんどんみんなアートを作るのが怖くなるんじゃないかなって、ちょっと、彼の考えもあっていて、確かにそうですね。だから、とりあえずアートで楽しい時間とか楽しいことを作りましょうとかの考えあったらもっといいんじゃないかなと私も思います。はい。There are other two things. Okay, there was other thing about you said that people is scary about changes, and I'm totally agree with you. It's happening right now with Twitter. You can see how people is crazy only for change a logo or change, And sometimes I feel like people need to hate something. So I don't know if they have much time or not, but I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you with that part.
Yeah, it's common. It's normal. It's okay. But you have to adapt. You
Yeah.
have to move on. There's nothing wrong with using generative AI. It's not unethical. And these arguments are simply like, I said, it's the fear of change. And eventually this will become common and we'll all move on together. But in the meantime, we have to carry the artists kicking and screaming along the way until we finally, get to the next big controversy.
My God. I love to talk with you because, you make me think a lot of things. I haven't thought about that. そうですね。彼の、 私の中でまた別のことをお気に入っていて、なんか人間は、私の会社のプレゼンでもお話ししてるんだけど、なんか人間が何か突然変わると恐怖になってて反対にしてますね。で、ジェネリティブ AI のことも同じ感じになっていて、あと他の事例としたらツイッターですね。今ツイッターとかいろんな変更あるんじゃないですか。で、みんななんかすごい、やだとか、なんかダメ、なぜ変わったんですかとか、昔もね、インスタグラムとかも、覚えてると思うけど、ロゴ変わった時にすごい、みんなすごいなんか怒ったりとか、怒るよりなんかですね、なんかジェネリティブ AI はどのような自分の人生で使えるのかとか、もう少しなんか、過去のことだけ考えるんじゃなくて、これからのことを考えた方がいいではないかっていう、彼の、考えですね。はい。And there's one, sorry. AI utopia. Well, there is a lot of things, but if we start to talk, maybe we are going to be here, like, I don't know, until tomorrow. So there's other thing about AI utopia that you said they are going to help us to give us more options that we didn't have until now, and I totally will agree with that. The other day I was talking with a Japanese writer, and she told me generative AI is amazing because I can write stories, I can write books, but I until now I couldn't draw. But now I can do it. I can draw. I can output what I had in my mind. I mean, she mean about the characters she had in her mind when she think about the stories. So I think that's amazing.
I agree. It is amazing. And I say this a lot. For for us to have created the most powerful form of human freedom of expression that's ever been devised, this tool that puts it in the hands of anybody that wants it. We're all creative. We all have an imagination, and we all want to express that. And now this tool is giving everybody the ability to do so. To be against something like that, to me, that's anti-art. That's unethical. Maybe people who are against it should reevaluate what it means to be an artist if they're taking that position.
I agree with you. Yeah. I don't know. I'm eager to see what's coming from now, and of course, I'm looking forward to your work. That was amazing. I can't imagine what's coming, but yeah, I'm sure you will give us more information when
Yes.
you can do it. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But
It'll be announced very soon. It's, like a month away. We're a month away.
そうですね。最後話したのが、その AI ユートピアの中の話したのが、AI 生成はこれから、今まで我々できなかったことはできるようになります。っていう話がしてて、確かにそう思っていて、実は何週間前に日本の作家さん、ライターさんとお話ししてて、その方どういうことを言われたか、私は今までストーリーが書きましたとか、私は本とかいっぱい出版しましたけど、なんか書いた、キャラクターとか、書いた風景とか、ね、頭の中にあっても、アウトプットできなかったんですね。で、これから AI を使うと、やっぱり私の頭にあるイメージとか、私、ストーリーを書いてるときに、その通りアウトプットできるから、なんか私のストーリーがさらに生きているっていう、話って私すっごいと思ってて、だからこれから本当にもう、楽しみにするしかないですね。はい。ということです。So we have a question. Wait a minute. So, Aki-san, thank you. Aki-san, いっぱい質問ありがとうございます。Aki-san said he thinks that art, like generative AI is going to be like art for everyone, but he's worried, he or she, sorry, I don't know if he's a girl or a boy, he's worried if generative AI is going to kill the originality in art. What do you think about that?
So recently there was a research team that did an experiment trying to train a generative AI model using only AI generated work. And I don't know if it's due to the laws of entropy or what, but it became a disaster, and the outputs became increasingly worse and worse and worse. So I don't believe that it will kill originality. It's a tool like any other tool. It requires human beings to be involved. Our ability to be creative and imaginative, that's uniquely human. And without the human spirit, the human creativity, the human mind, there really can't be any originality. We'll see where artificial intelligence goes in the future, but right now, this is not a concern that I have because it's just AI isn't human. It will never be human. So we're special in that sense, and we should always look to be trying to express our ideas, our thoughts, our dreams with each other. I don't think that's going to ever end. I mean, this is the human story. We've been here for a long time, and we've been doing this for as long as we can remember. So I don't have that concern.
I totally agree with you. I even think like it's going to come in a good time for creators, because I feel like creators are, when you say I'm an artist, people is like, well, yeah, okay, But I think from now, creators are going to have a good time for them. Like they are finally being, how to say, people are going to think about them like the great, amazing artists they are.
Yeah,
So,
I actually have a thought about that. As long as this controversy continues, and as long as the gatekeeping continues, where they're trying to guilt trip people about using the technology, a lot of artists won't touch it because they don't want to be accused of being an art thief or whatever, And so this is stifling creativity in great artists. My friend and I talk about this, where one day there's going to be an artist, like in the traditional sense, a very talented, skillful prodigy, maybe, let's say, an artist that can do anything. He's gonna, or she is going to pick up generative AI and do something that we could never have imagined. And then they're going to turn and say to the artists when this finally happens, see, you can do this too. And I can't wait for that exciting moment, because the only example that I can think of that's similar to that has happened so far is an individual at MoMA, which is the Museum of Modern Art, took all of the pieces in the gallery of the museum and aggregated them into a training data set of their own, creating a MoMA latent space. He then took the positions of each of the paintings in latent space and interpolated in between these locations, revealing a mesmerizing artistic visual expression that could never have been created without the power of artificial intelligence. It's fascinating to see. I don't think that this is the example that I'm thinking about because we're still so early on. It's mostly kind of like a tech demonstration of what is possible using the technology. But one day, someone is going to do something so amazing that everyone loves, and it'll contribute to furthering, getting rid of this stigma against AI. I can't wait. I can't imagine anything I want more.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm agree with you, and thank you for I don't know. I'm learning a lot of things with you because I don't know so much about how AI is going overseas. So I really appreciate all the information you are sharing with us because we are learning a lot today, and everything is thanks to you. So I really appreciate to share all the knowledge that you are.
Awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. で、先ほど、秋さんの方から、お話、したのが、そうですね、なんかアートの、ごめんなさい、なんかもしかして、読み方わからないけど、本当にアートの、民王化って読むかなを、感じます。特権的な、アートというのが、なくなるんでしょうかっていう話があったんですけれども、一応、イエイソンとお話ししていて、まあ、その、アートは、ずっと、そのまま続くっていう、お話になるんで、で、実はなんかもともと、リサーチがありまして、その、ジェネリティブ、AI 生成のモデル、違う、すいません、AI 学習ツールは、AI 学習ツールは、その AI 生成で作ったものだけを、学習したんだけど、結構やばいことになったらしいんですね。だから、やっぱりその、なんだっけ、AI がオリジナリティがまあなくならないっていうことですね。だからやっぱりこれからまあ人間が、クリエイターさんがさらに必要、実機になるので、これからクリエイターさんがすごい楽しみにしています。イエモンさん、ありがとうございます。なるほど。民主化っていうことですね。なるほど、なるほど。でもそうですね。アートは、まあ、先ほど、ウェンディさんも話したんだけど、これから、アートは、なんとかな、アーティストしか使えないじゃなくて、誰でも使えるようになるので、本当に、倍の画像とか倍のアートが増えるなので、今までなんかアート作れなかった人とか作ることもできていて、多分なんか一般の方でもなんか展覧会も開けるから、なんか多分今まで見たことないアートとか出てくるので、すっごい楽しいこと出るんじゃないかなと私、思ってます。はい。これで回答になったかちょっとすいません、楽しくて出なかったかもしれない。はい。あと残りの質問は一緒にすいません、イエスだけと話すとね、やっぱりウェンディさんが可愛いので、はい。So thank you so much, for your presentation, and let's call Wendy because I suppose she must be behind. Sorry for me making you wait, Wendy. Sorry for that.
Oh, no, 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 no. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to Jason's presentation.
It was amazing. I was surprised for both presentation, both help us to understand what's not only your vision but what people overseas think about AI. So we are very happy to hear your presentation. So I would like to. We don't have so much time, but I would like to share some questions from viewers and participants with you. そう、皆さん、質問、すでに書いてるけど、もし他の質問とか聞きたいことがあったら、二人にぜひ、コメントで書いていただければと思います。こちらはクラスターの人だけではなく、YouTube の方でもぜひ、質問、書いていただけると、こちらに、回答いたします。So, we have already finished the presentation. From Jason and Wendy. So if you have any question, please let us know. Writing on comment section, sorry, and I will share with both of them so we can discuss about all the questions you have or you would like to share with us. So, Aki-san asked, wait a minute, I need to... So Aki thinks, if I'm not wrong, that the concept of individuality is going to change with generative AI. But do you think that's what's going to happen?
Who is this question for?
I don't. This question is for us.
Okay. Well, the first thing I think about when I hear that question is how this eventually generative AI is going to become so personalized that and customizable that it'll be down to the individual level. And the best way to demonstrate that, I think, would to share this story. It's just a short little anecdote, kind of, where you come home from a long day of work. Maybe it's the beginning of the weekend to your significant other. And your significant other says, you know what? I really want to watch a movie about you and me on this adventure where we find an ancient clock or wristwatch that whisks us through the past, through time and space, and we go on these adventures where we deal with, you know, historical things that happened in the past, and we dodge these dangers, and we get out of these different you know, adventurous situations, and we learn in the end that it's only love that we needed all along, you know, and it was you and your significant other watching together a story about you that never happened, but this will help increase the bond between you and share something that no one else could possibly appreciate as much as the people. I mean, could you imagine something like this? We're not far away from something like that happening. I think that that can kind of really bring us to face more things about ourselves that we hadn't ever considered and make us grow in ways as people that we could never have imagined being possible before. This is akin to magic. AI is like a genie in the bottle. And I don't know who is against this.
Thank you so much for your answer. I'm going to explain in Japanese. Thank you so much.アキさん、の質問は、に回答すると、すいません、なんかもし私読み方が間違ったら教えてほしいんだけど。こうという概念の、変容というかなを、求められるように思いますが、どうでしょうっていう、話で、一応、彼に聞いたら、そうですね、なんかこれから、なんかもっと、なんかその自分のこと、なんかそれぞれの人を考えてることが、まあシェアできるになるし、あとなんかそのアートがどんどんなんかそのもっと個人的な感じとか、もっとカスタマイズできることになるではないかっていう、まあお話に、なるではないかっていう話ですね。はい。はい。ということです。他の質問があったらぜひコメント欄で書いていただけると嬉しいです。お願いします。あと、ツイッターとかもですね。Okay, Yemon gave us a question okay. So he used a translation to say, send us the question. So he said, I think regarding the issue of the copyrights of the artists who create the teaching materials, I don't know what's that. I think it is better to separate the issue of dignity from the issue of life insecurity, mainly economic. What do you think about that?
I think
Yeah.
that if I understand the question, you know, go ahead, Jason.
No, Wendy, I've been talking a lot. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah.
I think that life insecurity when we look at that word, we're talking about artists who fear that their jobs are going to be replaced and then they don't have an income. And I had talked to a friend of mine who we were discussing this. I was discussing with him that I understand artists who are upset about generative AI art if the art that they're creating is paying their bills. And he told me that, he said, no. There are not many who is living off of their artwork. And I thought that was a really good point to make because I didn't know this, that it's kind of like supplemental income. And I get it that sometimes supplemental income, extra income from their artwork can help out with, you know, their life economically. But also too, when you're looking at it not being your full-time job and it's not paying all of your bills and helping you to survive your basic income, then it's just a hobby. So to me, looking at it as life insecurity, it's kind of there's a fine line there, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I can play off of that because that is true. The whole idea of the starving artist, this concept derives from that. So we could escalate this to those who are making a living off of art. And these are a privileged few who are at the top and have a very clear agenda on maintaining the status quo, because they are in a privileged position where they're able to do this in a way that many other artists can't. So it would be in their best interest, obviously, to be gatekeeping through their elitism, any kind of democratization of art to protect their own interests. And while that's not necessarily wrong, it's just like, well, this isn't the driving force behind allowing, what it means to allow someone to be creative, right? We're not all in your position. And, I mean, to make another example, like we're not taking the abilities of their creation process away from them by introducing this. It's just like, if you want to win, did cars threaten the use of horses? It's like, well, maybe, but we're not preventing you from using horses or riding around with your horses or doing a rodeo with all your horse buddies. But don't complain to me if I decide to use a car to get around. Two little concepts to, one playing off of what Wendy said, and then this a little analogy.
But I like the way your answers complement. So thank you so much. I'm going to translate. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Jason and I have had several conversations about these same topics. And, we both agree that, this is, it's such a bigger, broader spectrum than what, a lot of people are complaining about. There's so many more positive looks at generative AI.
Sorry, I'm taking notes so I can explain later in Japanese. Sorry. Thank you so much. So,家山さんが、質問していただいたのが、その著作権、アーティストの著作権についてで、やっぱりプライドの件とか、あと自分の仕事がなくなるの、特に、経済的な感じのことについての質問、されていて、で、それで、ウェンディさんが、もちろん、彼女は気持ちがわかりますのね。この AI が突然出てきたんで、彼らが、私の仕事なくなるんじゃないですかとかっていうこと、で、多分それで、一部の人が、そのジェネティブ AI を使って、お金作ってるんじゃないですか。でも、ほとんどの人が、多分、アーティストよりホビーみたいな感じでやってるんだから、例えば、今ある、副業として、多くの人やってるんじゃないかな、ということだから、あまりそんな心配、ないかなと思います。で、もちろん、イェイソンからについては、今までアーティストは、なんとかな、ポジションが上だったんじゃないですか。我々、アートを作ってるから我々しかないけど、これからやっぱり新しいツールが出てきたから、で、さらに彼らより早く仕事できるから、大丈夫のかなっていう心配が、あるだけど、ジェネティブ AI が、AI 生成が、アーティストの仕事を、盗むと、取っちゃうとか、スキル取っちゃうとか、じゃなくて、もう少しポジティブを考えていて、今後自分の作品はどのように使えるなのかとか、どのようにを使って自分のアートがさらに次のステップに持っていけるかっていう、考えた方がいいんじゃないかなっていう、話が、あります。だからなんとかネガティブに考えるよりも少しポジティブに考えて前向きに考えた方がいいんじゃないかなっていう話が、ありました。山本さん、質問ありがとうございました。 So, yeah. By the way, I would like to talk. I think I saw in Jason Facebook, maybe. I'm not sure. There was some kind of legal thing that someone sued Google, OpenAI, Microsoft about generative AI, right? And looks like that thing was going to be dismissed.
There's a lawsuit against it's a class action lawsuit against Midjourney, Stability AI, and DeviantArt.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, a handful of artists are attempting or were attempting to sue these companies for infringing on their copyrights.
Mhm.
And there is no clear indication or example of copyright infringement that exists. And the judge indicated to that fact and also very strongly suggested that the case is going to be dismissed. That was maybe a week ago, and I was expecting this outcome and hoping for it actually, because this argument that is continually being brought up is
Yeah.
based in lies and misinformation and a misunderstanding of how the technology works. So this is a small victory for us. I don't think that we're out of the weeds just yet. The judge is going to allow them to amend their lawsuit, and
Mhm.
I'm sure they're going to come at it in a much more educated way because, in my opinion, their attorney, if he is an attorney, maybe he's just a lawyer, was saying a bunch of things that are completely false, just like assuming all these things about the technology. So they may come back at them again with further lawsuit, but I really, I'm not worried about it because I know the truth. It's not hard to see the truth if you're not being willfully ignorant and just do 30 minutes to an hour worth of studying about deep learning and diffusion so that you can recognize what's actually going on.
Totally right. Yeah. そう、前回ジェイソンさんの Facebook で見た、件なんですけれども、アーティストは、まあ、先ほど話したことなんかまあ、AI 生成に寄付しているアーティストは、ミドジャーニとかスタビリティ .ai とかデビアンアートなど、ジェネレティブ AI を使っている、会社に、裁判っていうかなに、ケースがありまして、このツールが我々の著作権、反対してるんじゃないかなっていう、まあ、やっていて、前回、裁判があってて、で、ジャッジ言ったのが、このツールを使っている、内容とか見ても、アーティストの著作権、なんか反対にしてるとか、そこに何も見えないっていう話だったから、まあ、すごく、AI 生成については、まあ、結構良かったではないかと思っています。だから多分、いろんな人がまだまだAI についてはあまりわからないけど、ただ批判したいとか、まあ、先ほど話した自分の仕事本当大丈夫なのかなって怖くて、まあ、反対にしてるとか、ヘイトにしてるとかあるんだけど、まあ、もう少しね、やっぱりジャッジとか、そういうことを言ったら、じゃあ、著作権の問題じゃないですよねっていうことだから、まあ、これから、まあ、どうなるか、まあ、新しいニュースとか見ながらね、みんな一緒になんか勉強できればと思っております。はい。で、そうですね。I want to ask a question to Wendy about how, wait a minute. What's the most difficult thing about creating art using generative AI?
Getting what you want. Sometimes when you put in the words that you think make sense, it doesn't always work that way. The first children's book that I worked on was lightning bug. It was about lightning bugs. And when I put in the text lightning bug, it showed me insects that were surrounded by lightning bolts. And it looked like Thor, like it reminded you of this is what Thor's insects would look like. And so it took, oh my goodness, I had to use a thesaurus to try to even figure out the right words to make an insect look like it was lit up, you know? And so that was a very, just, you know, the program is very literal. So what you tell it is what it's going to give you. And so I think that finding the combination of the words is probably the most difficult thing for me to communicate. Learning to communicate with the program is probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah,
I'm
I agree
totally.
with that
Sorry.
100% because this is not only does it take a lot of patience and skill and practice to get the output to generate what you want, there's also a matter of becoming proficient at it, right? So there's a lot of high-level concepts and techniques that I've learned over the course of being on Midjourney that I don't know if a lot of people know about. I can make this program do things that no one else is doing, and that's part of the process of an artist's process, right? Is getting the medium to do something that it's not intended to do, or something creative that no one has thought of before. And yeah, so it takes a lot of dedicated time to hone your craft, right? And it's like I shouldn't even hesitate to say that, but the stigma around it like forces me to contend with it every time, you know, because they want to say, oh, you have no skill. It's just a word salad. You don't know what you're doing. You're not an artist. You know, like we're always being confronted by that all the time instead of just being able to share our process and explain and help other people. So, like, that's why, you know, I'm sorry. That's why I did the presentation the way I did. But yeah, I digress.
But yeah, the same thing happened to me every time. So, but it's good that we have now many tools so we can explain people that they are wrong, and teach them how AI art and AI work, so they can understand what they were wrong about, you know. But yeah, about what Wendy said, the same thing happened to me because I'm working with a lot of companies. So sometimes they ask me to do like, you know, crazy things. It's like I understand that you like to create that, but I think it's kind of difficult for AI to make this stuff. So yeah, I understand what you said. So 一応質問したのが、AI 生成で、アートを制作するときに一番難しいことは何ですかって聞いたら、自分が出してほしいことを出すことです。やっぱりAI 使うときに、時々、勝手に言葉を使って、勝手に、欲しいもの出てくるんじゃなくて、本当にトライアンドエラーが多いですよね。私も今、AI 仕事結構、やってるんだけど、同じ時間にですね、なんかお客さん結構細かい作業、作品とか欲しいときに結構なんか、何回も、やってみないと欲しいものが出てこないですね。結構苦労するとき結構、ありますね。はい。っていうことです。はい。So, yeah, I think, プリントアウトするときに、マチエルの、OK, wait a minute. ちょっと、わからん日本語出てきた。でも多分、diversity, right? 多分、diversity の話ですよね。多分、diversity かな。そうですね。Wait a minute. いや。多様性かな ?OK。はい。So, 肌 ?OK。Sorry, アキさんすいません。時々なんか結構なかなか日本語で聞かない言葉多いからすいません。でも言ってることがわかりました。説明ありがとうございます。So, Aki-san has other question about print out about print out. So he thinks about that if you think there's some kind of diversity about wait a minute, sorry, about them how to say painting, I don't know how to say in English, sorry, painting surface.あきさん、ちょっとすいません、質問わかんない。立体の話いいえと。なんだろうかな。それは例えば作品出すときになんか立体にできるかっていう話かな。なんか今まで 2D みたいな感じだったけど、今後はなんか立体みたいな感じできるかっていう話かな。すいません、ちゃんと質問が受けたいんだけど。あまり後の知識が少ないから。写真みたいだけではなく、皆さんすいません。あれですか、AI 生成でこれからなんかフラットだけではなく、なんかいろんな可能性が出てくるっていう話ですかね。ありがとうございます。失礼しました。Sorry because it was difficult for me to understand the question of アキさん。アキさんところでいっぱい質問ありがとうございます。本当に感謝いたします。Aki is asking if you think with generative AI, we are having, until now we only had art in 2D using generative AI, but do you think in the future we will have more like oleo painting or canvas? If we are going to have more diversity thanks to the generative AI, not only flat design, I mean.
I definitely think so, but I'm wondering if Jason got disconnected because the blue light's not above his head.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Jason,
So,
what do you think? Yeah.
Well, diversity in art in general, the more ideas, the better, really.
Mhm.
It promotes more creativity. If the more vibrant perspectives that we have can contribute to different styles and give us techniques that we wouldn't otherwise have ever explored. Now, this question seems to be hinting at something very close to what I'm doing. So I think I understand the underlying question here. And yeah, for 3D related generations, I have my own specific ideas about what I would like to see happen in relationship to art incarnate specifically. But this is all still very new technology, and
Mhm.
integrating AI training with it this early on could be challenging. plus the type of training data that you would need to acquire in order to generate something along these lines is very protected. So this could be a boon for artists who are in the traditional space to contribute something that will serve a greater purpose in the future. And a lot of traditional artists aren't against AI. I just want to say we focus a lot on, the negative aspects because, they're the loud minority, the ones the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But yeah, in the future, I think so. I mean, just in general, having 3D related generations is not outside the realm of possibility. We're already seeing a little bit of that. I'm kind of diverting from where I was going. I'm trying to be vague on purpose. But
I think
it,
I'd like to say that I believe that there is. I mean, I know that you're being vague. Is this a good time for me to step in and take over?
yeah, you can.
Okay. I think that there are so many ideas that have not yet been created. And I think that's the exciting part about this is that even with creating not just digital works, but using the digital to create a physical representation, I believe that even in the physical space, that there are so many ideas that are still yet to come. And that's the exciting part is that we don't know, of course, what we don't know, but what is going to come of this and how generative AI is going to help push the envelope of creativity and people creating these new things, developing these new things and new ideas that we've never seen before. And so it's an interesting question. We could talk about this all day long, but we still don't know what's yet to come. And I think that we've barely touched the surface.
Yeah, totally. Thank you so much for your answer. So I'm going to explain to the audience. そう、アキさんの、質問に回答するときに、イエスさんから見るときに、そのアートの多様性が、間違いなくこれから来るんですね。特にその、3D っぽいのアート、例えば、オイルペインティングとか、そういう、なんか今まで 2D だったんだけど、これ今後はもうその、なんとか、立体っていうけど、立体とも伝わってないかもしれないけども、そういう、普通のアーティストを描いてるのようなAI 生成まで出てくるんじゃないかなっていう。もちろんその、AI 学習とか必要とか、結構チャレンジ、出てくるかもしれないけど、間違いなく来るではないかと思います。で、その件についてウェンディさんの意見もありまして、我々、その AI 生成始まったばっかりだから、まだまだ本当に何も、始まってないですね。まだ本当に赤ちゃんみたいな感じと考えればいいと思うんで、だからこれから本当にすごい、アイデアとか、新しいものが出てくるではないかと思ってるけど、我々、この話についてもちろん、永遠ずっと話してるけど、我々まだまだイメージできないことだから、でも間違いなくこれから、印刷するものでも、いろいろ AI のおかげで、始まるではないかっていう、二人の意見、でした。はい。アキさん、いろんな質問本当に、感謝いたします。So, I think we have talked a lot, and it's supposed to, this event was going to finish around 11, but it's like 20 minutes past 11. So, thank you so much for being that long with us. It was a pleasure to talk with you about this topic with these amazing speakers who are Jason and Wendy. I really appreciate all their effort, and they wake up really earlier. And I'm sure we are going to do more things from now, so please stay tuned. And of course, please don't forget to follow Wendy and Jason on their social media. Their social media are in this event in the Facebook page. Please follow up to Jason Works. That I'm also excited about what's going to happen. So thank you so much for your time, and see you in a future event. 皆さん、本日のイベントがこれで終わります。ぜひ、ウェンディさんと、イエスさんの、SNS にフォローお願いします。Facebook のイベントに書いてあるので、ぜひチェックお願いします。また、イエスさんがこれから、新しいプロジェクトやってるので、ぜひ、SNS でフォローとか、サポートお願いします。はい。では、このイベントでこれ以上になります。皆さん本当にありがとうございました。Thank you so much. See you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much, Wendy. It was amazing to be here with you together.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be here.
Thank you, DeVito. Thank you, Indy. This was fun. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.